Well, it's good seeing you, Jake. Thank you so much for being here. A lot going on since the start of the year for BCDA. Let's start with the court sheriff's order.
Yes.
Because that started up everything and the issues that have come about, enforcing the Supreme Court ruling, officially returning Camp John Hay to BCDA from CGH DevCo.
Yes, yes.
How's the transition coming along?
Very smooth. But first, thank you, Kathy, for inviting us today. So we are so very happy to report that for the past 2 months, everything is in an upbeat and positive development in Camp John Hay. After the Supreme Court ruling last year and the smooth execution by the sheriff of the writ of execution, there was a smooth turnover of the facilities and improvements to BCDA. Finally, after more than a decade, the government has rightfully claimed these facilities, and the government can now enjoy benefits and revenues from these facilities. And it's business as usual for us.
I'd like to pick up on that, business as usual, because CGH DevCo boss, John Sobrepeña, had a briefing with reporters where he had actually said that it hadn't been smooth, that the stakeholders have got to be respected with the rights that they have. And there's been a lot of tension that's come out of that between BCDA along with the Gulf members, as well as the unit owners and CGH DevCo itself.
Yes. First, on the homeowners, even before our takeover, we already studied their cases. And it's good that as of today, more than 95% of these homeowners have signed contracts with us. If before they were having fears that their leases might end because their expectation is up to 2046. But with their new contracts with us, it's beyond 2046. It's 2050 or more because we're giving them fresh starts of 25 years plus another 25 years. And we have more than 100 of these homeowners who have gladly signed contracts with us. And we intend to close or conclude our arrangement with all these homeowners. As for the Gulf members, many of them have also begin to enjoy playing back again in the golf course. It's being managed right now by the MVP group. The expectations is higher than what we thought because the golf course now is better managed than before. So players can appreciate what's happening in the John Hay Golf Course as well as the public because we open this to the public.
But why has there been a change in the terms? Because initially, when we go back to the 1996 agreement, the end lease is supposed to be 50 years. So that takes us up to 2046.
True, true.
So there's been a change in the middle of the game, sort of. Not really sort of for those unit owners. That's why they're really up in arms, because there appears to be disrespecting of what's been agreed on as a contract back in '96.
No. Our original contract with DevCo is only 25 years and up for renewal. So any renewal must be agreed upon.
So that's another 25 years
parties.
Under same lease terms.
Yes,
after the
yes.
25, the exclusive renewal option
It should have ended
lapses.
early 2021 or 2022. But the arbitration ruling happened sometime in 2015. And so it has dragged on until the Supreme Court decided last year with clear finality that they uphold the arbitral ruling such that the DevCo must return the property and all the improvements attendant to it. And in return, the government will have to pay back all the rentals. So,
have you paid? Because Sobrepeña is saying that you hadn't paid the 1.4 billion pesos
not yet, but we are willing to pay. We have put the money in an escrow account. It's just that we are waiting for the court, the sheriff, to finish its job in executing all this order coming from the Supreme Court.
So that's 95% settled, as you said earlier.
Yes.
So what sort of a timeline are we looking at when it comes to the court sheriff?
I think we will be concluding earlier, before the month ends. I think for the homeowners, we will be, it's less than 20, I think, for the homeowners. For the hotel unit owners, we have also studying the arrangement with them. In fact, there are Koreans who were reported to be affected. And we are in close coordination with the embassy. I am a regular textmate with the ambassador, so from time to time, I give him updates on what's happening. And also, we even hired an interpreter, Korean interpreter, to make sure that their grievances are properly aired and attended by BCDA. And soon we will be presenting these updates as well to the Koreans and to the embassy.
What about the existing establishments there, those with commercial leases? Have you also renegotiated with them?
Yes. Those were the first to sign with us, like the Lemonade Hotel. We signed a new agreement with them, fresh 25 years. And in fact, we are about to sign another contract with them for the expansion. Because that's our goal, because we have lost time in terms of development for Camp John Hay. So we want to catch up with this development so that the public can enjoy better service, better experience. So we are signing new contracts, commercial ones. And also last Friday, we also received 5 proposals for the updating of the master plans. It's a good number, and some of them are from international companies. So we will be updating the master plan for Camp John Hay because the master plan is 1990 circa. So at that time, there were no SDG or ESG or sustainability goals at that time. So we're including this kind of development in the remaster plan of John Hay to make sure the environment is protected at all times.
So what sort of investors are knocking on your door then? I mean, what sort of nationalities and in which industries?
Yeah. Mostly on tourism-related development. We have big developers who have visited already our site. So it just showed that they are ready to partner with the government. And some of these are the big partners that we have in Bonifacio Global City, in Clark. So they know how BCDA treats the partners. It's not that we are reneging on our contracts. It's more of a vote of confidence from these developers that they want to start right now in partnering with us in Camp John Hay.
Industries, nationalities, could you give us an idea?
We have locals, we have Koreans, we have even Japanese who's studying the mass transport system in Camp John Hay, because that's one issue where we want to make sure, because Camp John Hay is not just seasonal a destination right now. It's year-long, full of locals and also tourists. So we want to make sure the traffic is attended at all time. And it's a good thing that the new Secretary of Transportation, Vince Dizon, is formerly our boss, so he's in support as well with these big infrastructure projects we are doing for Camp John Hay.
When you get to the meetings with these intended foreign investors, what do you tell them about the sanctity of contracts, knowing that you're facing this issue and you're trying to transition them away from the previous arrangement? What certainty do they have towards the respect of the sanctity of contracts? So we're not just going to pull the plug on them in the middle of the game.
Yeah, that's true. Because that has been, for me, a different case because it has been dragged into the court. If for us, we would be fulfilling all this arrangement if they were signed by BCDA, but they were signed beyond what is provided in the contract with our private sector partner. But for us, all the contracts that we have signed, like recently, we also signed a luxury hotel development with Philinvest, which is about to open this year. So it's clear in the contract that the BCDA is obligated to make sure that they will be able to develop the property for the next 25 years or beyond.
Let's talk about New Clark City, because that's the real focus for the next major hub up north. But investors are saying that there hadn't really been a big development there after the 2019 Southeast Asian Games. In fact, the last time I visited Clark was during the Games.
Yes.
Is there some truth to that?
Well, pandemic sets in, right? The coronavirus devastation has a global impact. But I'm happy to report that, like for the first 2 months of this year, we already signed 2 big contracts meant to fast-track the development of New Clark City. We started in January with the expansion of a 100-hectare industrial park with the Filipino-Japanese consortium. They are already in the south, and they are expanding in Clark. So this investment commitment of around 30 billion is expected to generate tens of thousands of jobs. We are ready to turn over the property to them. And next is, just last month, we signed an agreement for the first 3,000 housing units in New Clark City with the Korean partners, including the Korean government. So these are FDIs, foreign direct investments. These are not ODAs. So these are the focus right now to bring more investment that will generate activity in New Clark City. And like this year, we will be opening the first world-class golf course in New Clark City designed by Jack Nicklaus in Han Reserve, a partnership with a Korean investor as well. So things are going to fast track with the development in New Clark City this year, especially with a bill we are working with Congress.
Right. What about the American investments? There are the Texas Instruments, the Hiltons, and the Marriotts with Make America Great Again.
Yes,
I mean, all the investments are coming back to America.
Yeah.
Have they expressed any reduction in the amount of investments or maybe a pulling out?
No, not at all. No, because they've seen they're doing good business in Clark in general. And recently we also signed contracts with big logistic U.S. companies. These are Federal Express and UPS. In fact, as part of our commitment to our partnership, long-term partnership with these big U.S. companies, we're going to expand the Clark International Airport. Now we're going to build a new apron to park their aircrafts as well as build their second runway, because with this investment that these U.S. companies are doing and making Clark their hub, it will make the Philippines part and parcel of their global movements of services. So as support to them, we want to make sure at all times Clark is up and running, providing good support to their operations.
Let me pick up on policy. As you mentioned that earlier, that Senate Bill 2647.
Yes.
A provision there is to extend the life of BCDA for another 30 years.
Yes.
But what's the justification for extending it for 30 more years when you've got 18 left? 18 years left in the existing arrangement where you can first prove to foreign investors and local investors that you will prove that you could observe the sanctity of contracts.
Well,
and really and make sure that it's a stable policy climate for foreign investors.
Yes, Kathy. Well, with the progress of New Clark City and with the takeover of Camp John Hay recently, we need at least 25 years to give comfort and confidence to our partners that BCDA will be there until the end of their initial 25 years and holding their contracts and partnerships. So we need at least 25 years. So with the extension, and thanks to the Senate and the House of Representatives, they were able to finish approving our bill, and soon it will be sent to the President for approval. So this is continuity, certainty, and more of a confidence setting to our private sector partner that BCDA will be, for the next 25 years, be with them, fulfilling their programs and developments.
I will leave it at that. Thank you so much, Engineer Bingcang. Really appreciate the conversation.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you very much.
And that was Engineer Jake Bingcang, President and CEO of BCDA, joining us here live on Money Talks.